ever recall a time when you looked at someone else's blessing and wished it was yours? Have you ever been jealous of someone else's benefits in life? Ever felt like God was doing more for them than he was doing for you? If so, keep listening. If not, keep living. Because comparison doesn't just rob joy, it can ruin lives. Because today's message can save you from one of life's most dangerous traps: comparison. Hey family, my name is Tony Lewis, and it's my plum-pleasing pleasure as usual to share with you today a few minutes for us. The U is for underdogs, and the S is for strugglers in the Bible. If these moments are helping you grow, please like, subscribe, share, comment below. I'm keeping my eyes on God. Today we launch a brand new series, powerful, the cost of comparison. Looking sideways can make you lose your way. Now let's get into it. Meet Cain. Cain, comparison can kill. Comparison can kill. Today's story isn't about a murder first. It's about comparison first. Because long before Cain raised his hand, he lowered his heart. You'll never enjoy life God gave you if you're always wishing you had someone else's. Let me tell you his story. It's found in Genesis chapter 4, verses 1 through 16. You know the story about Cain and Abel. Both brought offerings to God. Abel brought his best flock offering. God requested. Cain just brought a fruit offering. God accepted Abel's offering because it was what he requested, but rejected Cain's offering. Notice what happened next. Cain didn't ask God, how can I grow? How can I grow, Lord? Instead, he looked sideways at his brother. You ever been there? God even warned him, you will be accepted, Cain, if you do what is right. But if you refuse, sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you, brother. But you must take rule over it and be its master. Cain ignored it. Whatever. God's warning. Who am I talking to? He invited Abel into the field. Come on, bro. And there he got on the comparison train. And comparison turned into competition. And competition turned into jealousy. And jealousy turned into anger. And anger turned into murder. He said, I'm going to kill that brother. Family, Cain lost his brother because he lost his focus. Let me tell you about how Cain struggled. He struggled with jealousy, pride, rejection. I know about that. And anger, bitterness. Who am I talking to? Refusing correction. His highest battle wasn't with Abel, it was within himself. When you and I struggle like Cain, when we celebrate others people's failures instead of their victories, when you and I become angry when someone else succeeds, when you spend more time watching others than walking with God, when you blame people instead of examining yourself, family, comparison always makes someone else the problem. Let me tell you how Cain could have succeeded and what we can learn from him. He could have accepted God's correction. God didn't reject Cain. He rejected his offering, y'all, and invited him, come on, to do what was right. You know correction in God's invitation. This is an invitation to grow, not his decision to abandon you. He could have celebrated his brother. Abel's blessing wasn't Cain's burden. Someone else's success doesn't cancel God's plan for you. Who am I talking to? We must learn to celebrate what God is doing for somebody else while trusting him for your own season. He could have controlled his anger. God warned Cain that sin was waiting and watching at his door. Cain had a choice. We can learn from feelings are real, but we should never become our master. He could have focused on his own faithfulness instead of comparing offerings. Cain could have improved his own worship. We can learn from God's measures faithfulness, not by comparison. Let me say that again. We can learn God measures faithfulness, not by comparison. He could have chosen repentance instead of revenge. One humble prayer could have changed his entire story, y'all. Repentance restores what pride destroys. But what is the big lesson? What is the big lesson? When our eyes stay on others and drifts our heart from God. When our eyes stays on others, our hearts drifts away from God. Cain teaches us that comparison never produces peace. It produces pressure. It produces pride. It produces pain. God never asked Cain to become Abel. God simply asked Cain to become the man God created him to be. Family. God has a lane with your name on it. Run your race. Live your calling. Celebrate others without competing with them. Maybe today you're comparing your marriage, your ministry, your money, your health, your house, your children, your career, or your calling. Family. Hear me now. God is not grading us on someone else's paper. He's asking you to be faithful with what he gave you. Don't miss your blessing because you're busy counting someone else's. Let me say that again. Don't miss your blessing because you're busy counting someone else's. Hold on to these 5 truths. Comparison steals joy. Jealousy clouds judgment. Correction leads to growth. Contentment protects your heart. Faithfulness pleases God. But remember the big lesson. When our eyes stay on others, our hearts drifts away from God. Family, keep your eyes on Jesus. Keep your eyes on, not on your neighbor, because when you spend your life looking sideways, you'll lose sight of the path God prepared for you. Don't compare your journey. Commit your journey to God. See you next week for the next a few minutes for us. For the second episode in Looking Sideways can make you lose your way. In this series, The Cost of Comparison. To God be the glory. I'm out, y'all.